Left the distillery behind. Well, we're just above it in your kind of private event space in a very lovely bar.
Thank you.
It's really nice to be sat on this side one for a change.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is for you too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we chatted a bit about obviously seeing the stills that you make your spirit in. We spoke a little bit about the whiskey and the aging and how that kind of develops flavour. We haven't yet talked about where the gin came from, the origins of the spirit itself.
It really started as a hobby for our founders, Carl and Lindsay. They began distilling gin.
It wasn't here, right?
No. It was in their conservatory in a little village called Langley, just over the hill. Again, started as a hobby, and there was a kind of a eureka moment when they were walking in the forest with their kids, picking botanicals. They decided to use what was around them and available, and we created the recipe that we still use today.
So there's a real emphasis on kind of hyper-local production, which is obviously quite trendy now. They've been going out for a few years, right? I'm going to pour some gin because I really fancy tasting it.
Grand.
That's kind of what we're here for, right?
Yep.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the botanicals that go into it, and what's local as well? What comes from around here?
Botanical wise, we've got our organic juniper, organic coriander. Other botanicals that we find in are licorice root, angelica herb, high quality Madagascar vanilla. Foraged wise, we use wild bilberries, blackberries, raspberries, gorse flower. All picked by hand from the Mac Forest and the surrounding Peak Districts.
So that's a really cool list of botanicals. You've got kind of that classic London dry, and then obviously you've got the local stuff, really kind of fruity, floral, and I'm really excited to get into it.
Well, dive in. Our gins have been described by some as sipping gins. You can enjoy them straight.
So smooth, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And punchy enough, I imagine it'd be great gin and tonic, fantastic martini gin as well, right?
Yeah. Proper martini gin.
The blue bottle is something that I'm really interested in as well.
Yeah, it's our Earl Grey. It's distilled exactly the same way.
Same botanicals?
Same botanicals, only after distillation we've cold infused the gin with a bespoke blend of oolong tea, bergamot and cornflower, aka Earl Grey.
Yeah.
So essentially we cold steep it and leave it for 20 hours.
Yeah? It's a really long brew cup of tea, right?
Yeah. The tea comes from a local tea merchant based in Chester called Quintessential.
Great name.
Gorgeous, high quality teas. They're absolutely divine and perfect for our brand.
So I'm a really big fan of Earl Grey tea. It's kind of one of my go-to brews, but it's not something that's super commonly drunk around here.
Correct.
So where was the inspiration for this?
It really happened by chance. We were at a local farmer's market, and in the stall beside us was the tea merchant, and we just got chatting and decided we'd have a little play.
Kind of poetic,
Yeah, and we came up with this.
Great. So we're going to get in there. Obviously, the first thing I've noticed, it's a slightly different colour. I'm assuming that comes from the steeping of the tea.
Exactly.
In the same way that whiskey gets its colour from the barrels, right?
Yeah, correct. You'll notice that it's got a little bit of legs to it. It sticks to the side of the glass. That's the oils from the tea.
Absolutely. And that's just examples, indication of more flavour, I guess, yeah?
Correct.
That really is phenomenal. Two of my favourite things, gin and tea in one bottle. Obviously we've seen the new make spirit aging downstairs. I've had a try of your latest blend, number 7, that's not quite ready for bottling.
Not just right.
We've got number 6 here in glass.
Correct.
And I'm going to get into that while you tell us a little bit more about it.
Dive in. So number 6, we've only got maybe a dozen bottles left. Hence why we're getting number 7 out as soon as possible. Just to the left we have our private bottling of a Kalila 10-year-old. It's a unique cask that the general public can't usually get their hands on. So whilst the stuff we've made is aging. So
we've obviously seen your aging facilities downstairs. You've got the big blend, number 7 is it, that I've just tried.
That's it.
At cask strength.
Yep.
You've got your own whiskies that you've made that are almost ready. I think you've got about a year left on them.
Yep.
I'm going to try this. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the bottles we've got on the table?
Grand.
And how that works.
Grand. So what you've got in your hand now, Adam, is blend 6. It had a similar home to blend 7 that you tried downstairs.
Yeah.
To the right we have a private bottling of a 10-year-old Kalila. Whilst the whiskey that we've made ourselves is aging, we're going to be releasing unique casks
Yeah,
and
yeah.
experimenting by doing some different blends, just so that we're not twiddling our thumbs whilst our whiskey is aging.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, it's great.
Cool. So Adam, what we've got now is the private bottling of the 10-year-old Kalila. You'll notice how pale it is. It's got absolutely no caramel colouring in it. Yeah, there's not many of these bottles left, so this is a real treat for you. Give it a try, my man.
That's great. So yeah, Kylie, one of my favourite distilleries anyway. You're right on the colour as well. It's super, super pale, which is fairly rare for something that you see with a 10-year age statement. As you said, no caramel added. Smoky, almost kind of herbal, which is wild for a whiskey. Oh, it really is the good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's divine, absolutely divine.
So we're going to head off now. Thank you so much for showing us around. Let me try your lovely, lovely products. You guys have got some plans for the future, right? So
Yeah,
where are we heading now?
You're heading up to our new whiskey HQ at the Cat and Fiddle Inn.
Right.
Manager Tom's up there. He knows you're coming.
Great
He'll
stuff.
look after you. Thanks for coming, man. It's been nice to see you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, man. All the best.